Hip-hop since 1987.com.
What's up, everybody? How you doing today? This is the Dice Raw Report, and this is Hip Hop since 1987. A lot going on in the world today. I guess we could start at the top with Eminem surprise album. Surprised everybody. Well, I guess not. Some people were kind of in on it. Royce the 5'9", Q-Tip, Black Thought. That's right. We're gonna get right into it. Black Thought. Slaughter in the track again. To me, some people online, they having mixed reviews about the beat because of the Busta Rhymes vocal. To me, I thought using the Busta Rhymes vocal was brilliant. I loved everything about it, especially the second verse, for obvious reasons. Now, some people always say, "Oh, Dice, you biased." You know what I'm saying? Like, everything Black Thought do, you always saying is dope. I'm not biased. It has nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? The shit was just straight fire. And I'm biased. My producer's looking at me like I'm crazy over there. He's giving me the most screw face. But so what if I'm biased? So what? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's a good verse. It was magnificent. Nothing I can do about it. The people have spoken. They've spoken. Anyway, my producer, he's not in agreement, but he is giving me what some may consider a side eye. That is true. But I mean, the album's good. I haven't really listened to many Eminem albums. You know what I mean? But this one is one that I really got a chance to dive in, top to bottom, because I get up early. So, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm rolling out of bed just like, okay, what's going on planet Earth? And I saw that the album was out, and so I decided to listen to it. You know what I mean? Anderson .Paak. The Q-Tip thing was interesting, because I could have saw maybe even Busta being on that joint. You know what I'm saying? Which would have kind of been hot, but I loved it. And to me, Eminem, even though he's sold a cajillion records, he's got the accolades, he's got I guess, does he have the Grammy? He doesn't have the Grammy though, right? I think they keep snubbing him. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like he does have a Grammy. He should. If Eminem doesn't have a Grammy, then that is a big problem. But I don't really think M gets the credit he deserves, especially for bringing hip hop to different audiences. And I say that not from an aspect of people who didn't know hip hop existed, but the love for hip hop. Because pre-M, there were only a few white rappers who kind of reached that success because of the nuance. You know what I'm saying? The nuanced way that hip hop is. The feeling that you get from hip hop when it's real, not too many other cultures were able to really lock in to what that was, in the way that we communicate with each other. And when I say we, I mean, I'm talking about the brothers, I'm talking about the sisters, you know what I'm saying? And I say brothers and sisters because I'm from the old school, or the true school, like EST like to call it. I mean, I know you guys call yourselves niggas and bitches all day long now, but I mean, that's just not how I communicate, you know what I'm saying? I go back, we used to slap five on the black hand side, you know what I'm saying? Now, but I mean, anyway, but getting back to what I was saying, it's the nuances that the way that we communicate with each other that I think white rappers really weren't able to lock in pre-Eminem. You know what I'm saying? And I think after Eminem, you had people like Mac Millers. You know what I'm saying? I think you had people like even They're Not Friends, Machine Gun Kelly, and Yellow Dog, who somehow lock into that nuanced way. And then we got some local rappers here in Philly, you know what I'm saying, that King Sai, for instance, you know what I'm saying? I think he understands the nuanced way that hip hop is communicated in music, again, as a universal language. So, shout out to Eminem for all his accolades. I'm not sure if he got the Grammy. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. But I think he got snubbed. Which is criminal in itself, you know what I'm saying? So, but shout out M. But speaking of the Grammys, what happened? The head of the Grammys today was asked to step down. Did you see this? You didn't hear about this? Yeah, the head of the Grammys. I mean, just to make sure, I want to just check this out for you guys. Make sure I give you guys the correct information. But yeah, just saw it come up. Yeah, Grammys chief. He was accused of misconduct 10 days before the Grammys. Uh, oh no, it's a woman. Okay, Deborah Duggan has been placed on leave of absence. Now, see, that's pretty funny because so many guys get Me Too that you automatically think that it's a guy. But it wasn't a guy. It's a girl. Excuse me. You're not going to Me Too me. It's a woman. You know what I'm saying? For starters, it's a woman, grown woman, an executive, a powerful woman who misused her power. That's what happened. She misused it. You know, but a powerful woman nonetheless. You know what I mean? A very powerful woman, crushing men. You know, some men, not me, but weak men, crushing them. Anyway, you know, a lot of stuff going on in the world. Donald Trump is in the news again, surprisingly. I think the impeachment has kicked up another notch. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Producer, have you been staying in contact with this stuff? Do you know what's going on in the world as far as the political White House stuff? Are you on point with that? All right, so you know what's going on with your guy. I know you voted for him, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what's so funny? Speaking of this, listen, look, people always say, Dice, did you vote for Trump? And I tell them the truth, no, I didn't vote for Trump, but I knew he was going to win. You know what I'm saying? I still voted for Hillary, and the only reason why I voted for Hillary is because, you know, as a last-ditch effort, President Barack Obama came out and told me to do it. He's, you know, if he says something, if he says do it, you do it. You know what I mean? So Barack Obama came out, he said, listen, Hillary's got my support. Pharrell told me to do it. So, you know, anything Pharrell and Barack Obama tell you to do, I do, because they're black men who shave their mustaches. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, my grandfather always said, you got to watch out for black guys that shave their mustaches. But what I'm noticing is those black men who do shave their mustaches are in power positions. They're very powerful. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's because of the mustache. Maybe I should shave mine. Maybe I should shave my mustache. You think I should shave it? Yeah. The Mr. Producer's told me to shave my mustaches, and he's saying the world will open up for me. You know what I'm saying? Because this black mustache is too black. It's too scary. You know what I'm saying? It's too suburban America. You know what I'm saying? You got to cut it off. You know what I'm saying? Does Jay have his? Jay's gotten rid of. Jay doesn't have a mustache. He shaved his mustache. I think that's what Nas was critiquing Jay about. Anything? And that's that one song. Nas has a fuzzy mustache. That's right. You're correct. Nas's mustache is a very thick. It's pro-black. He has a very pro-black mustache. You know what I'm saying? But I told people that Trump was going to win, and as we were going to the poll, I was with my mom, and I was giving her the bad news. I was like, "Yeah, Mom." I was like, "I know you want Hillary to win, but you know it's looking like it's going to be a Trump thing at the end of the day." And it's just people just couldn't believe it. But you know who else predicted it? Michael Moore. He predicted that Trump was going to win. But Trump, you know, the thing that I do like about him, if there is anything that you could like about this guy, is the fact that he makes the most amazing tweets. Today he tweeted, he said, "Hey, I just got impeached for making a perfect phone call." I mean, that's not what you got impeached about, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I could just pull him to the side. Like, you know, some of these guys, I wish I was like a fixer and people would contact me because I think I have good ways. This thing is not worth. See, this is what happens when you're dealing with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people being here fighting and shit, shooting over the mic. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. You know what I'm saying? Has there ever been a shootout over the mic? No, not in here, but you've seen that. And in your days, Mr. Producer, you've seen a shootout over the mic. You had to. Never? Okay. You're very blessed. You were very blessed, my friend. You know what I'm saying? But I have seen shootouts over the mic. You know what I'm saying? I've you know, it's so crazy. I've seen shootouts happen for like $1. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody get now that you saw. Okay, yeah, okay. And it really was. I guess it wasn't about the amount because I still can't figure that out. You know what I mean? Like But anyway, getting back to the political thing, yeah, it's not looking good for your guy Trump this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's weaseled out of everything. And to me, I think that's the most amazing part about the presidency is that it actually should have ended 2 years ago. And we're still kind of like in this thing, like, it's like, oh, President Trump, he got accused of using bad language about women. And we got the tape. He grabbed them by the pussy. And then that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was it. When they grabbed him by the pussy, I said, he's out. There's no way he'll make it. That didn't stop him, And then the whole thing with Stormy Daniels came out, and it's like, okay, the president of the United States is having unprotected sex with a stripper, and he's also married to a stripper. Well, he's married to a stripper, but she's not really a stripper. Is she a stripper? Would we consider Melania? Is she a stripper? No. Would we consider a high class prostitute? No. Okay. Mr. Producer has just given me the go ahead. I've just gotten the green light to go ahead. But see, this is hip hop since 1987, so it really doesn't have to be that conservative. You know what I'm saying? Although we do like to think that we're conservative about some things and we're liberal about others, right? Like Chris Rock said. Am I getting this correct? I'm looking over. I'm waiting for you. You're the producer. I'm looking for approval. I'm looking for that green light. Anyway, but nothing stops this guy. Nothing stops this guy. But now I think it's the phone call. The phone call is what's going to bring him down. Do you know what I mean? What else was he involved in? There was a money thing. There was the voter tampering. It just doesn't stop with this guy. And the one thing that's going to bring this guy down is the freaking phone call. Mr. Producer, what's your cell phone? I want to get the people your cell phone over here. Nah, it's just... All right, well, so as soon as I get his number, I'm going to post it. I'm posting online, and that way... matter of fact, you text me earlier, so I got it. So I'll just post it. And then you can just call in anytime you guys want, We're gonna have lots of call-ins. Not to get off topic of talking about the most corrupt president in the 10th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like a little throwback to me. You know what I'm saying? But the Trump thing is really sad. Because when he wins again, like if he doesn't get impeached, like has there ever been a time where an impeached president ran and won again? Was that Nixon? Damn. That's what's going to happen again. Like he's on the borderline of being impeached. And even though he's going to be impeached, I'm making another prediction. He's going to win again. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see anybody stopping him. I definitely don't see Barry. Is that Barry? I don't even know the candidates. It's like, does the Republicans, do they have anybody, or they just don't pitch anybody because they've already got the guy? So they just kind of just lay. They're laying. Okay. But did that happen with the Democrats? No, they came. They ran against Barack, right? Like on his second term, they didn't lay. No unity. And that's the kind of people you want me to ride with? You know what I'm saying? No loyalty? Loyalty having Democrats? Are you nuts? I'm not a Republican either. I think that we actually need to just get rid of both parties. You know what I'm saying? Just start over again. Like, get rid of all the Democrats, get rid of all the Republicans, and let's just start over again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why are we sticking to these old ass things that have been in place since the dinosaur age, and we're still going by? Everything's changed. Think about it. Cell phones have changed. Television has changed over the last, 50 years. Over the last 100 years. Let's just talk about the 100 years, right? Last 100 years, look at what the fuck has changed. Everything. You know what I'm saying? From not having a phone in your house to everybody on the planet having a cell phone to cars being made on an assembly line to cars being made on an assembly line. That's the bad analogy. That was a bad analogy, but everything's changed. And I guess there's a couple things that haven't changed, and that's the weird part about it. It's like so much has changed just from even having refrigerators, you know what I'm saying, and freezable ice and televisions that hang on the wall, and I mean having movie studios in our pockets, and I mean just that baffling stuff, and what they're doing with medicine now, it's just insane. The micro robots, have you seen these things? Micro robots, yeah. I say, let them in. You know what I'm saying? When people say, oh, no, man, that's the Illuminati. I said, wait, the Illuminati is micro robots? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, medical? And I said, if so, you got let them in. Chip me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go. Chip away. But getting back to the Democrats, Republicans, we need to get rid of these guys because it's just not working. It's just not working. And it really, I mean, for African Americans, I mean, has it ever worked? I mean, ever? I mean, you could say Lincoln freed the slaves. It's like, well, okay, but why the fuck were we slaves in the first place? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, or first of all, we weren't even slaves. So let me even start there. We weren't slaves. We were a race of people who were enslaved for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. But slave was not our nationality. So it's like, and that part is weird too. So it's like, when we're talking about history, we're going into African American history. It's like Lincoln freed the slaves. The Republicans were the ones that freed the slaves. But no, what he did was he freed enslaved Africans. And the generations of children that they had since they were enslaved in a new country. I mean, whatever. This is hip hop since 1987. I know I'm preaching to the choir. But, I mean, getting back to the whole, I mean, where are the reparations, Who is driving that message home? And I think, like, that's where even people like Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, I mean, where they really missed the scope was, okay, we've already had a black president who might have been like the coolest black guy of all fucking time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just can't get any cooler with that. And then Kamala, I mean, no offense, I mean, she did show up with, interracial relationship. And to me, I think that was a little off. But nuanced. But here's the thing. If she did have an African-American husband, would we have liked her more? Because I feel like people criticized her for that. They were like, oh, well, how can she represent Black America when she's not representing Black America even in her own house? Or a reflection of her is a person of another race. So does she really even understand what Black culture is like? I mean, that's a valid question. But to me, I don't think whoever you share your bet with defines who you are as your race. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think your race is your race, or their race is their race if it's a different race. And sometimes, you could be dealing with somebody who is blacker than the sky at night, but, I mean, they may identify with other things than what's considered to be nuanced African American culture. I think that was a good way to clean it up, Mr. Producer. I want you to erase the files, erase everything, burn everything. No, I think I was fine. I think that was fine. You know what I'm saying? And if not, who cares? You know what I'm saying? This is hip hop since 1987. I got Janet Jackson. If anybody gives me a problem, I got Janet. You know what I'm saying? She's in control, not you. You know what I'm saying? I think people need to realize that. But yeah, I mean, I say let's just get rid of the whole shit. Let's get rid of the Republicans. Let's get rid of the Democrats. And let's start off. I mean, I think I need to start my own political party. And maybe that's what it needs. You know what I'm saying? We need to start our own political parties. There should be hundreds of them. They should all have to not duke it out, but, debate it out or something like that, and really get down to the nitty gritty of it. Because Cory Booker, he had no wife, or he's not married, right? He has no girlfriend, or he said he was dating, why can't I think of her name? I'm drawing a blank. What's the woman's name? She's in the movies. Mr. Producer, you know her name, right? Cory Booker's girlfriend. Oh my God. Anyway, she's a beautiful Latino woman. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of her name right now, but she's in movies. She was in Spike Lee's movie. She was in Spike Lee's 25th Hour. She played the girlfriend, the Ed Norton. I can think of everybody else's name except hers. You know what I'm saying? What the heck is her name? Anyway, Corey, I think Corey still has a chance. 4 years from now, we can come back, or 5 years from now, whenever they start this whole nonsense again. But Corey, here's an open letter to you. Get married, Corey. Get married. Get married. Get married, Corey. Get married. That's all I can say. Get married. Get married. Get married, Corey. Get married, and then come back, and then people will accept you. The other thing is, reparations. Reparations, like black candidates. Why are you not talking about reparations? Why are we not talking about redlining? Why are we not talking about what happened with the GI Bill? Why aren't we talking about gerrymandering? Why aren't we talking about gentrification? It's like you get up there and you start talking about, I don't even know. I saw, you know what Corey lost me? I saw he did Comic Con. You know what I'm saying? That's when he lost me. He was at Comic Con, like trying to appeal to people, I guess, that like Spider-Man. It's like, I'm like, yo, you know what's going on in the black community? And you at fucking Comic Con? It's like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And here's when Kamala Harris lost me. She lost me when she missed up the Snoop and Dre comment. Did you hear about this? Snoop and Dre? They asked her what she was listening to when she was in college. She said, I was listening to Snoop and Dre. It's like, well, Snoop and Dre didn't come out until 10 years after you were graduated. She's like, yeah. I had their demos. You know what I'm saying? Just like, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of nut shit is that? So, I mean, it's like, that's something that Barack Obama would have never messed up. He would have never messed up Snoop and Dre. You see what I'm saying? Like, he would have had the dates correct. They asked Barack what he was listening to in 1986. He'd be like, oh, well, I was listening to the King of Rock, of LL Cool J, I'm bad. And, his answer would have been very correct, very specific, and very forward. You know what I'm saying? But that's because he's a maniacal, mastermind. You know what I'm saying? One of the best we've ever seen. Anyway, moving on. There's all kind of cool stuff that's happening today, or interesting stuff, I'll say. I don't even know how cool this stuff really is. Let me see what we got going on over here. Don't mind me. There's some stuff I wanted to talk about. I have in my notes. Oh, man. Oh, snap. Get out. Wait, how old is he, though? It's James Earl Jones' birthday today. It almost seems like everybody's birthday is in January. Yo, James Earl Jones has just turned 89 years old today. Wow. James Earl Jones. That's crazy. My grandmother's 91. So you mean to tell me that Darth Vader is younger than my grandmother? It's like, that's pretty funny. You know what I'm saying? 89. James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones. Hip hop since 1987. People out there, you youngins. I want to talk to the youngins on this one. James Earl Jones is a masterful actor and just entrepreneur, philanthropist. The list goes on with this guy. A theater, film, and of course he's known mostly for his role as Darth Vader. I think that's one of his biggest roles. But the role that really touched me, James Earl Jones, which a lot of people didn't really get a chance to even see, but there's some clips of it online, is his role in Fences. Not the Denzel did the remake that was on HBO, but James Earl Jones was in a theater production of Fences, and powerful. The interaction between father and son, and the role was like, why didn't you never like me? He says, who in the hell ever said I had to like you? James Earl Jones. I just want to give you a shout out. I can't talk about people like James Earl Jones enough, especially while he's still alive. I mean, it's just and to expose people out there who may not be, hip to what he's done for, black culture, black Hollywood culture. It's just interesting. You know what I would have really liked to see James Earl Jones play? I would have really liked to see him play Colin Powell. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been knockout. Oh man, he might be too old though. He might be too old. I wonder how old Colin's probably a lot younger than James Earl Jones, but that'd be a good good flick. You know what I'm saying? So you heard it here first. If anybody does it, they owe me, a lot of royalties, a lot of royalty money for that idea. But yeah, so I mean, the most important person's birthday. I want to give a happy birthday to Martin Luther King. His birthday was January 15th, which was a couple of days ago. And, what Martin Luther King has done for African Americans and, I mean, just people in general. I mean, because his message was definitely, Jews and Gentile and Christians and Muslims and Indian and South African and European and, everybody, in harmony. And it's a beautiful, beautiful message. We still haven't gotten it together, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely a beautiful dream, and I'm sure one day we will, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure one day we will get it together, us as, the human race, the one race. But, I mean, I know for a fact a surefire way for it to happen quick, and for racism to just be over one day. I mean, I got it, you know what I mean? I've got the cure. It's alien invasion. All right, and we're back. Yeah, so, I mean, also some cool things that happened this week. Very, very cool things. Notorious B.I.G. was inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame along with Whitney Houston. A lot of controversy, on both sides, saying that, they should induct more people of color. Of course, that definitely should be the case. And, of course, more rappers. I think LL's in there, NWA, Tupac. So, I mean, Biggie is definitely a logical step. And I'm definitely very happy for Notorious B.I.G.'s legacy. But, I mean, going to some of the critics are saying that he didn't have that much of a body of work. He only has, 2 albums. And that is very interesting to be paired with someone like a Whitney Houston at the same time to be inducted. Now Biggie's impact on the game, I mean, was very impactful, but a large portion of that is contributed to his murder. And I think that there are other MCs that could be inducted to the Hall of Fame. I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for this, but I love Biggie. I could recite his albums, frontwards and backwards. And he's a legend, and I'm very happy for his induction. But it does go to the fact that what about Big Daddy Kane, or what about someone like a Slick Rick, or even like the Roots, for instance. Like Grandmaster Caz. I mean, so KRS-One. It is interesting to bypass some of those guys, and then I have to ask myself, well, why haven't they been inducted? And even like a Jay-Z, or Jay-Z's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and I believe Missy Ellis in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. But I mean, in the Rock and Roll, I guess because it is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and maybe that's the problem right there. Maybe we should have the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? And it should be more serious than an exploitative television program that just kind of comes out of nowhere and then kind of disappears and then resurfaces whenever it wants, and in order to exploit the culture for advertising dollars. And those are the things that really need to be confronted and talked about as a large idea, as a bigger idea than just celebratory. And this is about, gatekeepers and getting to what we like to call the preservation that hip hop since 1987 and at the Dice Raw report. it's really important to preserve the culture, and in order to preserve the culture, you have to have control of it, And if everybody's just running around just giving little pieces to this person, a little piece to that person, a little piece to this person, a little pieces to that person, then it's something that we don't have control of, and it's almost like whoever pays the most money can own the culture, and that's scary because then it stops being good. People stop putting out quality work. They stop challenging themselves. They stop pushing the envelope in studio sessions and trying to come up with something that is something that's new and that's fresh. But like, shout out, Biggie, definitely. We love you. We miss you. You definitely was a huge impact on my life, and in fat rappers everywhere. I'm not that fat though. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these other guys. You know what I'm saying? These other rappers out here. You know what I mean? But Biggie was definitely an inspiration to us. Shout out to Biggie and Whitney. Shout out Whitney too. Whitney had such an impact on just R&B and soul music for so long. It's like it was generational, and when we lose somebody like a Whitney, to drug abuse, it's definitely an eye opener because you can understand that people have moments of weakness, and anybody can get caught up into a dark chapter in their life in dealing with hard drugs. And that's something that there's a lot of help for that stuff too out there. So anybody out there that's dealing with addiction or dealing with any problems with opioids or cocaine or anything hard like that, or alcoholism, or even if it's just you just going hard on gummy bears, you just can't stop with that. You know what I'm saying? Just seek help. You know what I'm saying? That's what I urge you to do is seek help and get off that shit, man. A lot of other stuff going on. Somebody just texted me the name. Rosario Dawson. Cory Booker. Cory Booker, if you marry Rosario Dawson, then you need to just start going to the Latino vote, trying to appeal to that. Because black women will just denounce your ass so bad. He needs to go get a woman that's 2 shades darker than Michelle if he's got any chance. You know what I'm saying? So Cory, this is my advice to you, man. This is my advice now. Rosario, she's hot, man. She's fucking hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real with you. Since you're not gonna be president anytime soon, I feel like I can speak candidly with you. I feel Cory. I feel like I can call you Cory. You're like Core. Core. Listen, Core. If you marry that woman, black women are not going to be happy, buddy, and you're not going to get the same Barack Obama cachet that you're trying to tap in. That residual Barack. I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with it, and it ain't going to work because unless you get rid of her. She's hot, man. She's hot. Like, how do you get rid of a woman like Rosario Dawson? I mean, you don't. I mean, maybe you just get another woman and you keep both of them. But then, see, that's when the scandal happens. Then they got you, man. They got you right where they want you, and now you're being manipulated. You know what I mean? So Cory is like, Core, there's some beautiful black women I can introduce you to. You come down to Philly, we'll hang out, we'll go take it over, get your cheesesteak or something, to get the whole Philly experience, which you should have done from the beginning. You should have, came from my advice, but you didn't, and now we're behind. We're behind. But I feel that we can make this up. You know what I'm saying? But first things first, anybody, and this goes to Core, my man. We've become friends over the last few minutes. Kamala Harris. Jesse Jackson. I mean, anybody that's planning on running or that ran in the past, if you're not making reparations your lead, then you're going to lose. You're going to lose me. And there has to be something. You have to address African America. And I mean, you have to address it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because then you seem like you're trying to cater to white America, and they already don't like you. You know what I'm saying? So listen, get a base. And see, that's where Barack was smart. He started in the hood. Like Barack went to the hood first and he built a base. I mean, like, it's brilliant. It's really brilliant. And if you don't do it that way, you see this free game I'm giving away? I should be a political advisor. It's like, but if you don't do it that way, black people who are planning to run next time, it ain't gonna work. And I think more people need to seek my advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like I could be very beneficial, like a fixer or something like that. You know what I mean? For things that have gone awry. You know, a lot of cool things going on. Anything in music that came out this week that we don't like. I feel like the Eminem thing was fire. So we can't really talk about that. I want to slam somebody. Man, poor Kodak Black, you know what I mean? He put out a note today, and it basically goes. It was almost like a plea. Did you see Kodak's note, Mr. Producer? Did he put out? He didn't say it. Well, you can go to hiphop1987.com. Out there, if you haven't seen it, it's on the site, and I believe it's on the Instagram. And it was a heartfelt note. And, it really made me feel bad for this guy, Kodak. I got a chance to meet him. And he came to Philly, did a show. And it was very interesting interaction. Nice guy. He didn't say much. But in that letter, he was saying so much. And he was talking about, unfair practices of the local police department. His girlfriend visitation rights being revoked. I mean, there's some really, really crazy things going on in America that people are just kind of just standing by and let it happen to. And I guess for the most part, when you think about who these things are happening to and why they're happening to them, we can always kind of rationalize and say, well, that's happened to that person because they did X, Y, Z, or that's happened to that person because they did A, B, C. And, that's not always the case. And, some of these brothers do get targeted, man, and a lot of it stems from racism, especially if you're in, where is he from? Bardard County or Broward County or something like that. I mean, it just sounds racist. It's like, if I was from somewhere that had county in the last name and I was as successful as Kodak, you got to move. You know what I mean? You got to do what Boosie says. He says, look, man, just get out of that city that you're in, because there's been jealous cops doing stuff to successful African Americans. There's a history of that. And, and going all the way back to Hurricane Carter, who was a world champion in Trenton. Denzel Washington played Hurricane. And it's basically the same thing. He was on trial for murder and got convicted of murder and did years in jail for something that he didn't do, based off of being a once walking a crooked path, cleaned up his act, basically became a world champion. So that's almost like that happened to someone like Bernard Hopkins in this day and era. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be the equivalent of that. And it's like, we wouldn't stand for that. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't let them take B-Hop. At least I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? B-Hop, if they try to get you, I got your back, man. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, that note, man, from Kodak, it just really just sheds a light on just, prison reform and what's going on in the South. And Southern, I can only imagine being in jail, but then I can only imagine being in jail in the South. It's like, in a hot-ass Southern fucking Florida State Penitentiary. I mean, it's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, I just can only imagine what it's like. Hopefully I won't ever have to. And shout out Kodak, and we're praying for you, bro, and I hope you make it out of this situation, very quickly. What else is going on? What else? I feel like we have some other big birthdays that just came out. We had James Earl Jones, which is really surprising, 89. We had Martin Luther King, who's the king of love. Oh. Speaking of Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, it is Michelle's birthday too. So shout out Michelle. So he's crying over there. He loves Michelle so much. Our producer, he's weeping. He's weeping, and in hopes that Michelle will leave Barack for him one day. You know what I'm saying? But you never know. You never know. It could happen if Barack ever gets caught with his own version of Stormy Daniels. Like, and speaking Yeah, like, man, she's not bad. We talking about Michelle, not Stormy. You know what I'm saying? But but if Barack Obama had like one of the conspiracies that Trump had, like I kind of just wish, like in the alternate universe, like maybe there's a way I can get access to a Barack that's more like Trump. And to see how that plays out. I mean, just because if Barack would have said grab him by the pussy, I mean, it would have been done then. It'd have been over then. But what are you gonna do? Shout out James Earl Jones. I mean, you got to think about that. In 1 week, 3 African American icons born, and I mean that's just mind blowing. James Earl Jones, Martin Luther King, and Michelle Obama. In 1 week, that's insanity. That's insanity. Anyway, shout out to the Capricorn Aquarius Cusp crew. And then we have another special. Oh shit, we have a special birthday. Questlove. It's Quest. How did I forget? It's Questlove's birthday tomorrow, though. I think. And I think he's turning. He's 21 forever. You know what I mean? When you're doing hip hop music, hip hop is like the fountain of youth for some people. You just stay young forever. And shout out Quest. Shout out Questlove, James Earl Jones, Michelle Obama, and Martin Luther King. And Kilo, Kenyatta Saunders, even though you haven't called me back, Kilo, I'm still looking for you. Kilo, long time engineer, producer for, different various groups and stuff. But I'm looking for him. He knows I'm looking for him. So, Kilo. I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on, but we're just not touching on. I feel like I touched on a lot today. I actually saw that Freeway, local Philadelphia hip hop legend, he was in the studio with Freeway Ricky Ross, the LA. Was he acquitted for those drugs, or was he found guilty? I don't know. Alleged drug kingpin. I'll just say that. Freeway Ricky Ross hanging out with Freeway this week in the studio. I saw that online, and that got me excited for new music from Freeway. So I'm excited to hear that. A lot of local Philly artists I like coming out now. I don't want to say anybody's name because then I might have like street beef or something like that. It's like if I say the wrong name or something, they still do that stuff. See, the producer trying to get me whacked. You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah, you just go ahead, just rap. Oh man! Oh, you know what they do? They did have a Stop the Violence movement though, and that's something that is really important. That I see was on the news last night. Daoud Bey, Latif Bey, and who's the politician they had out there? Kenny. There was a couple guys doing the Stop the Violence movement in Philly last night. It was a really good turnout, and proud of those guys. And we need less violence on the streets, and we need more hip hop. You know what I'm saying? More hip hop, less whack hip hop, more good hip hop. You know what I mean? And whack, I guess is relative. Surprisingly, you know what I listened to this week? I listened to NBA YoungBoy. Listen to his album. Not bad. Not what I was expecting. I really wasn't expecting much. And then I heard and I said, oh shit, he's snapping. NBA YoungBoy, shout out. You know what else I like? That's part of the new generation. I like Lil Durk. Lil Durk. He's very emotional. You know what I'm saying? It seems like it's very heartfelt what he's saying, and and I felt that. It's like there's a lot of emotion and common sense that he said. He said one line that I thought was hilarious. He said in the song, he said, and I ain't know this girl for long. She asked for all the mom baguettes. And to me, that is hilarious because the nerve of someone. He's like, hey, you go out on a couple dates, saying they think you making some money or whatever, or you're a young up and coming, scrapper, you know what I'm saying? And somebody asks you as you spending time with them to try to get to know them better. In the midst of that, they ask for an Audemars Piguet. Like I would never speak to that person again. And maybe that's me. I'm weird like that. Like if someone asked me something, like if a woman asked me something so stupid and so juvenile, like I don't care if I was a billionaire. I wouldn't. It'd be like, are you nuts? It's like, how dare you ask somebody? It's like, for real, you're not even supposed to ask somebody to buy you a drink. I mean, if you really want to get down to it, it's like if somebody offers you a drink, that's fine. You can accept it or you can reject it. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? But you don't be like, hey, Patron on the rocks. I mean, unless it's your secretary or your hand boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, boy, give me a drink. You know, it's like, but you're not just going to just start barking orders. But I just thought the audacity of some of these people who are walking around on planet Earth to ask Little Durk for Audemars Piguet. Baffling. And I know it's true because when you hear the way he said it, it was like a real experience. He says, and I ain't know that girl for long. She asked for Audemars Piguets. It's like, yo, how dare she? Like, who are these people? And and I see some of these, the guy Tory Lanez, like he kind of broke it down on the daytime show. Did you see that clip with the daytime show where he goes into this thing that actually made a lot of sense? He says, he's talking to the girls from The View, and he says to them, if you go out and you hang out with a guy, you'll have a good time, and because your status of you being on the TV show, he basically laid a pipe down for you, and then he wake up in the morning like, yo, can you give me like a Rolex? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like, it's so ridiculous. I mean, actually, that's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? Now that I kind of think about that. So I kind of get where the woman's coming from. But, I mean, to ask anybody for anything like that is just insane. It's insane. And it's not only disrespectful to them, it's disrespectful to the idea of friendship. It's disrespectful to the idea of trying to create a unique connection with someone. It's disrespectful to the face of love. And I think that's why we have so many issues as, race with, relationships and, people being and scared to settle down and not trusting. And there's a whole lot of just non-trust. And to me, that creates an environment that basically we're in. You know what I'm saying? We're basically in. And just to use that as, not to use that as a segue, but somehow it happened anyway. But, that's some really interesting shit. That now, one night of knowing somebody, it almost dictates that you buy them a $30,000 piece of jewelry. One day. I had lunch with my publicist. She's been married to her husband for, I want to say 20 years. He spent $3,500 on her wedding ring. And no diss to her or him. I think that's reasonable. That's reasonable. For their age group and their time bracket. To me, I think that you, on a wedding ring is whatever. You should spend whatever you can. And it's typically 3 months salary. But at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about the thought that counts. But, really when you get down to it, you should be able to get a tattoo or take a piece of bamboo string and, or whatever the case if you're going to do it, that's fine. But at the same time, living in society, I guess, when your girlfriend goes to show her girlfriends that she's getting married, and they're like, girl, he tied a piece of bamboo string around your finger. Like, wow, that's really lame. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is there are people running around with that, but you spend one night with a guy and you want him to buy you a $30,000 watch or even like a 20. To me, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't belong to that culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, when I give somebody something, it's an extension of who I am, and there's a lot of thought that goes into that. It's not just on the whim or something frivolous. No, this is something that means something, and it's grounded in something a lot deeper. But anyway, shout out to Lil Durk. I hope you didn't buy the watch. I know you didn't. So I'm just gonna go with that. But yeah, I listen to a lot of new hip hop. Listen to watched the Drake interview the other day. That was pretty interesting. Very insightful. Very insightful. Shout out Drake. What else are we listening to? Listen to a lot of online radio. You know what I'm saying? Check out the competition. Listen to a lot of hip hop since 1987 radio. So yeah, you know, there's a lot going on in the world. I think we're done for today. But this is Dice Raw Report. Thank you for rocking with me, and I'll see you guys next week.
Hip hop since 1987.com.